playing InfoKid. Well, not actually. Like, this isn't an actual game, when just more of a website. So basically, it's a game or website where you have to put in like words, and there's an AI that generates basically writes a story to that. Well, for example, I like elephants because they are unique creatures, and I like the elephants. Not in the way people who own cats and dogs, but in the way people like wolves and dolphins are unique. They all have to be fed, and sometimes can also make make their own food, which is nice. You can put them into training, and they live in their own area, so they're not wandering all over the place. It's just really well. See, it makes its own story once you put like words. So yeah, so, it looks like just fit well in this world because they are so unique. But I think it's both of us when you look at the animals in the world, also live a lot like people in their own it. But I know they are not exactly like people. They tend to a different, lot more different types of animals and people in the space than people do. And they have a lot of things in the space than people do. So if I could tell you exactly what it would look like, I would say it looks like it looks like so wait, no, stop. Oh no. So if I could tell you, look, I would say it looks like a big box that has a bunch of mud and grass all over it, and there's a little roof over the top, and there are some plastic sheets hanging from it. But if you were a person who had never been to see an elephant, you wouldn't have an idea on how it would look like, because it would be completely different than a human house. But I think if I had been alone in the book Uglies, I would have seen it, because if I had been to a zoo and they had houses, I would react like, wow, that would be so cool to live in one of those. If I had lived in one of those, it would be something I could have imagined. But you look at things you would picture in those houses, because elephants tend to oh my god, to have a lot of the same kinds of things. Let's live in like a neighborhood, so you probably have to have some kind of floor for the elephant house. But you would have to make sure it is stable enough, because if not, it could slide around. When you would inside the house, you would need to put a lot of straw on the floor, but it wouldn't be the exact kind of straw that's used in the glass house. It might be a different type of straw, because elephants need to chew the food, so they don't need the seeds. Or it might be sometimes straw that has a lot of food particles in it. So it's part of the food. You would not want to eat the straw though, because straw is used to bake hay, and I could actually be hurting them. If you, the only thing that you need to know about elephants is that if you inside the animal house, you would need to stay there for a total of 10 hours, because if not, the elephants will start to get bored of it. Elephants have a very short attention span, so if you were still in the elephants 10 hours, they might start to decide to just leave. And if they left, then there would be no point of having the elephant out, because no one is in there anymore besides you, but you already have a house, and it's useless to you because they don't need you. So if you were in the house for too long, that would be a waste. You might also want to make sure that you keep feeding them, because if you don't feed them, then they would starve to death. The elephant house would start to smell like a very old barn. If you have ever seen an elephant, you will know that I can't carry any weight. So if the elephant didn't go out to straw in the elephant house, it would be so full that it could somehow possibly inflate. But in a completely different area of the quickly they go to close. So okay, that's enough of this one. How about we do one more? Okay, hold on. Let's say the most interesting part of life is, let's see, is when you let go of the things you have set in place and the chances you will have. It happened on my, by myself for the past 8 years, and with this I still have so much left to uncover before I finish my actual journey. When you lose someone you love, you let that the journey is slow. It continues, and you're in front seat looking back at the past, figure out that you in your own little bubble and whoop that will eventually pop. This episode of my journey has only just begun. It will continue into the future, but in the meantime, I'm looking for that missing piece of my puzzle. At least my family has gone from the United Kingdom to the United States because they thought the United Kingdom was a broken country to a more realistic America, not to find themselves in a new country on the other side of the world. I've gone from seeking to see myself as someone who is not on either sides and think they are both equal because they do share some of the same characteristics. Looking back at my childhood, I would never be able to sit my government spectrum. I'm trying to reach the roof of my house. I'm watching the washing line because I was too short. Instead, have discovered that my government, my mom, my cousins, my brothers and sisters, might have a piece of me because it's a journey of self-discovery. It's not about just living in the city to be happy, but it is about finding the one thing you want in life and realizing that you deserve it, and it's a journey that will never end. But this is starting to freaking like be some wisdom or whatever. It's the journey of your own dream, your own reality. It's about the search for the dream you have wanted, the journey you have wanted to start for yourself and your children. Why the dream is not there and giving up is still figure out. Following the crop of following your own goal and making a path for yourself. And it isn't about following someone else's decisions, but it's about making your own and finding what it's important to you. And when I say your own path, I don't mean to be selfish or to your friends, family, or but you have to do what's right for you. Get your own dreams. Oh my god. Okay, that's enough of this one. Okay, the keep no. After the balloons had released in the wait, that's spelled that wrong. Least they realized that. Wait, that's that? I think I spelled that wrong. At least they realized that someone was missing. Cindy, who had been standing at the end with the camera, had stepped back and not she ran after the balloons and had tried to get them, but she had fallen off the sandbar. Her ankle was crushed. It was broken. I went into hysterics and I felt like I was going to draw. Because it was the worst experience I had ever had because nothing was as painful as this. I was totally numb. After the accident, the state closed the trail. No one was allowed on the sandbar, which is a popular fishing spot. No one knew how to reach to fish at the lake and catch some fish. So it wasn't as busy as it normally is. The vets had to shut the water off so they could put the sandbar back together. To make sure that nothing had gone into the water that wasn't supposed to be there, because there had been a problem with the pipes when they built the lake. It would never able to get back on it even to this day. Cindy said that she does not like to walk on the sandbar because it reminds her of the experience she had. This caused her to get past the accident quickly. She says that she was going to live her life with him. She also likened her foot but still walked around with a prosthetic. She made it and had been able to live a normal life, but after she died, everyone realized that, yeah, I'm pretty sure I spelled that wrong. No, never mind. Realized that nothing would ever be the same. Her family moved away because they couldn't barely keep going to the lake every day and wondering what would happen to the kids. Passed away the next year, and after that, everything just fell to marbles. It had started a war among people, and and it's just something that you can't get over, like going to a place where someone has died and you can't go back to see them. She also knows if you ask her about her kids and what happened to them. She would sit there for hours trying to remember the kids, but she just couldn't. A year after her children died, her mother called her and said, "Cindy, you're just being so negative." These people would go back to her experience and say, "Not big of a deal, but back then it was not something you said. Not many people were able to talk about it. It was something that just hurt so bad." Cindy's sisters moved on with the last city. Still sad. She died, of course, but it had taught everyone a valuable lesson. Although it took time to move on, did they eventually have children? High school institutions has now involved for families who have suffered from this trauma. There are millions of children that have gone through something like this, and just not want them to go through the same thing. Stars, age turns, trick or treat, young adult, middle grade. Okay, that's enough of this one. After the car crash, a lot of people gathered around, and many of us began discussing different issues. Then a man I didn't know in his early 30s came up to me and introduced himself. So I his face. I was missing one of his eyes. I think he was in a car accident too, because who doesn't miss a good earner? I asked him and he responded, "I'm a carpet maker. If I'd been in the crash, I'd have been in the hospital too, but I survived." Shocked. I never met anyone who had been in a car crash, but not, but also survived. He said that his father and another, no one wanted to hurt me, he said. I remember wondering why the driver did not stop after hitting him. The next day, he helped me search for my beloved dog I had lost after I let him go outside to pee. On the way, I decided to look in the back of the car and found his purse, along with some more things I told him the police I was going at, I don't know, at 90 kilometers an hour and hit a car. It was currently the football lift. The time was nearly, but my back was almost severe and I had broken arms, broken legs, and sprained a lot of my body. But I lived, so if you're into a dick that you won't survive, think twice. He said to me, even though he had so many energy, he even came up to me after about a month. We became friends and had a normal life together, and we did share some of our previous experiences. Like as a child, I was hit by a car, and when I was taking the child to cry and cry, and that's why did God do this to me, to let me die and to just let me descend. But He decided to bring me back in the same way I had left, but only after I told him to take a photo of the kids playing in the street, and after they're in the street. The next day he came back to me. After being in this many accidents, God, he was developed some grace to keep me alive. He showed me how to make a teddy bear out of Cosy and many other things. This I can use it as a pencil somehow. I'll also tell you about one because, as he said, I've learned to really listen. This is never just me and ability. He says to me, after the visit, he told me, don't try to do the things that worry you. Only the things that worry, the things that, only the things that decide to worry you. Wait, oh, no, that decide to live. Only things that decide to keep on living. I knew and would. But most of this freaking story, these stories have been something about wisdom or whatever. I have to do whatever I have in order to make sure I don't give up. The message. I love my life and that I am at peace after these lethal incidents. And it really was something nice. But something tragic happened. After he left, he got pushed off he got pushed off a roof, and he had quickly. It all started with him showing a video and his body reacting like someone was trying to hurt him. He was switched to the hospital, and he almost lived, but sadly he had died. This affected me a lot because in my anger I shouted and kicked the nurse, and I was supposed to leave the hospital. I told myself to never let. Now he is here, and more than a few times I've seen him in a dream. So I okay, and I've seen I've seen, I don't know, seen a piece of his spirit. He often appears to me as a ghost, and this one where he starts thinking of how Puerto Rico, but I'm not the one in trouble. It is him. It's him who is in trouble. People in his new home are targeting him. They want to hunt more people and are asking to show them a place so he can. I ask you to not be afraid, to not be scared of what could happen, but instead make the things that could happen scared. Jesus, so much of this is oh, dang it. Oh well. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this video. So, see you guys next time. Bye bye.